Attitude check. Bronco Pike.
And welcome to another edition of the Broncos on Blast Progress Report. I'm Alex Podlegar, and we're coming to you from Luther Nick Gerald Stadium on the campus of Fayetteville State University, where the Broncos have just wrapped up another practice. And today we're joined by offensive line coach Marcus Gladden. Coach Gladden, you're new to the program, so tell us a little bit about your path here to Fayetteville State.
Well, I'm an East Carolina grad. I started as an intern there at East Carolina. After I left there, I did 2 years of junior college ball in northeastern Oklahoma. After that, I did a year at a high school in Winston-Salem where I was a defensive coordinator. After that, I joined staff at Tennessee State where I coached defensive backs and tight ends. After that, I went from there to Charleston Southern where I did 2 years of defensive backs for Charleston Southern. After that, I went to Central where I've been there for the last 3 years before joining the Bronco program.
Tell me why you feel like Fayetteville State's such a good fit for you.
Well, always been familiar with the program. Again, the one thing that's great about football is a lot of times you get to go somewhere where there's a lot of tradition. Coming here, I was already familiar with the tradition, and now being here, I think it's a great fit because there's a lot of pride and a lot of tradition in the things that we do.
Like you said, you're the offensive line coach here at Fayetteville State. A lot of your experience is on the defensive end, but being a defensive coach, you got to know what they're trying to do to slow you down on defense on the offensive side. So talk about a little bit about your offensive line coaching philosophy.
Well, I think as the smarter you can be as an offensive lineman is the better you can be. And having an opportunity to understand the defense the way I do, I understand what the defense is doing most of the time. And the thing that I want to do is convey to the offensive line what to expect out of the defense, a lot of times by the way they align. And, you know, the things that they do definitely is a situation of where they line up and the things that they do. And we can talk a little bit more technique-wise because I understand the technique that the defense is using.
Talking to Coach Phillips, throughout the preseason, talking to Larry McDonald a little bit in the preseason as well, this offensive line is coming into the season as a projected strength for the Broncos. A lot of these guys are returning intact, and Coach Phillips even said today that he's impressed by how the offensive line is progressing so far early in the practice season. Your thoughts? You're the coach of the unit. Your thoughts on where the offensive line is right now?
Well, I think we're getting better and better every day, and I think that's the big thing. If you can come out during camp and you're getting better every day, I think that's the foundation of what you're growing. And with us having 4 return starters on that unit, and we got a gift in 2 guys that are very good football players that transfers, and Desmond Roberts and Eric Howard, 2 young men that are going to come out and going to help us a lot. And then Larry McDonald is a guy that I think is going to be a very, very good football player for us this year. He's started 32 games straight, and he's a very, very smart young man and a man of faith. So I definitely think having him as a leader with that group and then having the experience that we have, we should be very, very good.
That sounds wonderful for Broncos fans, I know, going forward. And again, just some of those other names, the other guys you're seeing that are performing well. I know Marcus Uzel's out there back again this year. William Hunt is back. Just some more names and how they're doing.
Well, we actually have a freshman that I think is going to be a very, very good football player in John Gray. At the same time, Hunter McClure is doing a great job for us. We actually moved him from guard back to center, which is his natural position, which is going to make him a very, very good football player. And then we got another kid that's very, very young, but is definitely making a move. And I forgot to get the name. I'm sorry.
Well, if it comes to you, we'll come back to it. But John Avery sounds good. That's all right. And again, today's first day in full gear, and for the offensive line to be in full gear, you're in shoulder pads and helmets the last couple of days over the weekend. How has that changed practice in the last couple of days?
Well, for us is you got fat guys wearing equipment now. So again, for them, it's getting used to carrying the weight and the heat and understanding that. But it's also a good thing for us now is because now we can be a little bit more physical. And that is because when you put on just the shells, what we call the shoulder pads, I think guys kind of slow down and don't go as full speed. When you put on full pads, they kind of play a lot faster and it's a lot more physical. And again, playing in the trenches is a physical game, so we ought to have that just so we can start playing a little more physical.
How physical is this offensive line? I mean, is it a beastly line?
It has to be. Again, the game's one of the trenches, and we have guys that I think as a core, I think we average about 285 to 300 pounds across the line. So we're a very big, skillful line at the same time.
All right, well, that sounds good. We're looking forward to it. We're looking for a lot of high play. All those big plays, those skill position guys, they all start by what those offensive linemen do up front.
Yes, sir. And again, that's what we talk about. If they score touchdowns, we just make plays.
That sounds good, and we're looking forward to the Broncos making a lot of plays, 11 of them on each side of the football. We appreciate Coach Gladden for joining us today. You've been watching the Broncos on Blast Progress Report. Be sure to check out all the latest in Fayetteville State athletics news at FSUBroncos.com, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Alex Podlegar, and we'll see you again real soon.